if you never play, you can't win. But if you never get defeated, then you can't learn anything. Maybe, kind of. We're talking about defeat today. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Video Game Therapy. Once again, delayed recording day of classic moment of me lately. But yeah, I've been watching Blue Lock. It's an anime classic, and this one's been getting to me. I have an index card filled with random little thingies, and I think a lot of it can just be summarized by the fact that I'm not a very competitive person. I don't try very hard to win. I don't, do much if I lose in some sense. I don't know. I just want to get better and learn at things. But I think what made me want to record yesterday, but I didn't end up doing it, was the notion that, treating every day as your last in some sense. The show is effectively soccer, and a bunch of people are competing to become Japan's striker, which I guess is the person who makes the goals in soccer. I only say guy because it's for the male team. And it's kind of like there was this notion in one of the episodes of like you have to treat every single game as your last game. I don't know, like that's kind of it. And in this case, it was so competitive that when you get eliminated, it's kind of like, well, you might as well give up on your dream. Some stuff like that. I don't know. I don't really know where we're going today with this, but I think when you can treat everything as your last in some sense, I don't know. I started thinking about how, it's a different perspective on treating every day as your last day, because I don't know. I think if someone says treat every day as if it's your last, then you want to get the most out of each day. You want to enjoy it the most. But I think if you change that a little bit and say, treat every day as if it's the last day you'll be able to do something. Whenever I go on a run, treat every run as if it's the last time I'll be able to run, kind of thing. That kind of perspective, but on living every day. Sorry, my mic is peaking. It's really annoying. And I don't know. I just think it's a cool perspective to tackle, but there's also the sense of, and this was from an episode I was watching this morning, you kind of have to be defeated to dig into, what do you want to do if it's your last day to do something? And how do you want to do this? Is this what you want to spend your time doing? Because something that's not connecting with me, but is connecting with me from the show, is that every single character who's in this cutthroat competition type of thing, their dream is to become Japan's #1 striker. And so it's like being eliminated from this program is literally giving up on that dream. And because, if you don't win it, then what's the point of trying to become the best striker if you know that you already had your shot at it? And so it plays around with these themes of evolution, and I don't know, this whole aspect of a dream kind of hit me because it's something I've been, he's got a plant on his head! Heck yes, dude. Oh, that's a little funny screenshot. What was I saying? Oh yeah, this notion of having a dream. I haven't talked about this. It's been on my mind for a while. I didn't really want to talk about it for a little bit on VGT, even though there's 10 people. Actually, there was a lot of people watching the last one. Well, a lot of views on it at least. But I'm struggling with kind of asking myself, what's my dream? I've always set these goals for myself. Do this in college, do this on the side, do this project. But I don't really have a dream I can apply that all to. Or at least I don't know what it is yet. And in some sense, I want there to be something out there that I want to do more than I want to breathe, so to speak. Hello, sir. Getting in my way, Mr. Plaid Duck. Go for a little ride over here. Rip. And you know, defeat can teach you something about your dream. If you're chasing your dream and you're close to defeat or you get defeated, I think that's how you learn something. Um, an old archery instructor would say sometimes that you gain nothing from winning, but you learn when you lose, or something like that. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to win. You know, it's not like I'm going to play and then lose on purpose. You don't lose anything if you don't try. Sorry, you don't learn anything if you don't try. You have to really lose. And I think that's kind of what happened for me with Japanese, is when I took the N3 exam, I was studying hard, but I think there was some sort of disconnect. And so therefore when I failed, I didn't really feel like I had been defeated. And the dream didn't feel so strong that I, felt like I had to reevaluate, and I've been kind of on the chill ever since. The chill is in, like, not being too committed. And I went in kind of thinking, okay, I haven't prepared enough, blah, blah, blah. And so therefore I didn't really get much from losing, so to speak, from not passing. I did fine on the grammar and reading, but of course the listening was terrible, and as I kind of expected. But I don't really know where I'm going with this. I think you have to find something you're committed enough to, so that when you get defeated or when you lose it or when it's lost, you feel something. There was one episode, there was this notion that only when you've been defeated or you're at a point of despair can you see the path ahead of you that lies without that dream. And if you can look at that path and say, God, no, I don't want that, and go back to the path of whatever your dream is, I think, and if you chase that, it can be really important or really strong. And, if I have a dream, like, what motivates me? What pushes me? Why do I do all these side projects? What is the common denominator of why I ran for this, or why I've trained for this? Why do I keep coming back to martial arts? Why do I keep coming back to parkour? And I don't know. Like, I just know that I see things and I think this is a place I can progress, but I'm not really progressing towards anything. It's kind of like, if you want to move forward and become someone new, better version of yourself, you kind of have to be willing to tear down who you are now, if that makes any sense. Excuse me. Like, once you tear down who you are and you're left with that bare, I don't know, flame, dream, whatever you want to call it, then when you start to build yourself back up and create, then you can start to change. But, like, if I can't let go of my value of, I don't know. If I'm, right now I'm in the mentality of, like, not doing anything risky because I don't want to injure myself, which for right now is a good mentality. I have an embargo on doing flips, for example, because I injured my shoulder almost a year ago. And eventually I think I'm going to have to break that mentality and tear that down, because whatever's left that wants to do those things, that's, that will be the foundation for whatever comes next. I don't really know what I'm talking about at this point. But I think all in all, I want to be defeated at some point. Rainbow duck. Right. I want to be torn down. It's not, like, I want there to be something, let's put it this way. I want there to be something that I try so hard at and pour all of my soul into. I just haven't found it yet. And therefore, not only that, but that's criteria one. Criteria one for a dream is, because it's taken me a long time to get here, but criteria one for a dream is something that you can pour your heart and your soul into, that you need to do as much as you need to breathe. And criteria two of a dream, to show, how tenacious or how committed you really are to it, is if in the scope of that dream, and I'll explain what I mean by scope in just a second, but if in the scope of that dream you are then defeated, you need to pick back up and move forward anyway, because the path without that dream is just too bad. I think thinking now on the and by scope I mean if it's being soccer player, if you're defeated in the scope of that dream, it's losing a match. That's really important or something. For me, when I first took a consulting job, that path was honestly trash. I didn't really know if I wanted to do software engineering for a living, so I did something that was kind of lighter, and I really didn't like it. It just a lot of things, but one of the main things was it was too lax, and there wasn't much challenge. The work that I was doing was just tedious work, and it's kind of like, okay, I eliminated that. I'm in a software engineering position, and I like it. I don't feel like I'm selling my soul. I did like a solid 3-hour deep work session on Friday. I was working till like 5:45, and I was like, that felt like a good work session. I got this much done, and yada yada. Obviously, there are times when it's frustrating, but losing that position, it's a little scary, but mostly for objective reasons, like the current climate of the world of tech. But it's genuinely a position that I enjoy, and I like to work in it. I don't know if it's my calling exactly, but I'm improving, I'm growing, I'm doing difficult things. And I don't mean to sound like I do all these things, but none of them are, I'm never defeated. It's not that I'm never defeated, it's that I never raise my standard too high. And I think, I've talked about my struggle, so to speak, with getting art on the table. I think art's kind of a good example of maybe I can prove this to myself of if I actually try and put in good disciplined effort into becoming a better artist or an artist, then maybe that's what means a lot to me, and maybe I should be defeated in that sense. I mean, obviously I've been defeated before. I'm not trying to make it sound like I haven't been defeated, but I've just never felt so competitive, and I don't know, maybe I need a rival or want a rival, but yeah, it's just kind of like, how do you find a dream, I'm kind of getting sick of the whole try something and eliminate it process. It's kind of like, in some way, I need to create this high pressure environment for myself that will force me to adapt to that environment. And, my job is that in some sense. I feel a lot of pressure to do well, which to me is a good thing. But it's not, I don't know, I don't want to be working 12 hours a day. I don't want that kind of high pressure environment. It's just, if you can create a very high pressure environment, you can turn carbon into diamond. You can find what it is that's your saving grace. What it is internally that keeps you going, right? Makes you tick, keeps pushing on, whatever it might be. I don't know. Excuse me. A very scattered VGT today, I guess, but I don't know. Phil Knight said in his book Shoe Dog that like the bigger you grow, so too does the target on your back grow. And I don't know, it's kind of like you kind of, obviously you can't please everybody, I know that, but I don't really want to become public enemy number one. I mean, perfect example is like Mr. Beast lately did this like giving 20,000 people shoes thing, and people are attacking him for it, and it's like, what? You just can never please everybody. He's sponsored with some like company to make shoes for 20,000 people who didn't have shoes in Africa, and the shoes were made out of like recycled material, and people were like, "Oh, he's doing this to make money." Anyway, it's just funny, why do people care so much? But you can never please everybody, and I guess in some sense it's like, how do you go after a dream? Do you have to become fully self-absorbed? I like to think I'm not a very self-absorbed person. Maybe I am. I don't know. If you know me, let me know, please. But you know, there's a fault to being too self-absorbed. There's a fault to being not. I don't know. You can't always be selfless. You know, you have to look after yourself. Again, you can't please everybody. But I don't know. I guess you never really know if you're going in the right direction. And right now, I can only tell when I'm going in the wrong direction. But I'm gonna wrap up. My thinking's scattered, but if you want, you can send me a question. I have an email in the description of the video where you can send me a question, and I don't know. I can give you my thoughts on it. Yeah, cool. Have a good one, and as always, don't forget to stay awesome. Hopefully, I'll see you next week.